Mutsuki finds and seals Jellyfish, gaining his 7 of clubs, but also encountering Hikaru Joe, who finds he fights horribly. God damn, lady!
I love the kind of woman that can kick my ass.
And yeah, she's an undead who fully plays by the rules of the battle fight, wanting to fight for the supremacy of her race, but only seeks those to fight who also play by those rules, with everyone else, such as killing humans like her brethren do, beneath her. Mutsuki doesn't care, chasing down Hajime and unleashing Chalice on him. Umi, however, explains why she's been such a bitch. She doesn't believe in heroism. Her family died saving her, but what did it get her? Nothing and no one. Though to save people, to her, is selfish escapism from the harshness of reality. But she doesn't realize in her tearing it down, she's belittling the sacrifice her family made in allowing her the chance to live. Have someone to remember them. Because it would be better if one of them, any of them, lived instead of all of them having died. So, yeah, bitch, because it's not about her. Trial E comes after Kanzaki next since Yoshito detected him transforming. Kanzaki forced to run due to his injuries. Hajime succeeds in defeating Chalice to fight back against Mutsuki without relying on the power of Joker, the return of his ace allowing him to regain control over his Joker instincts and begin to try and suppress them again. But it's still in an unable state right now. Mutsuki encounters Hikaru once again, her goal being to unseal the undead he's taken, as the riders to her are an abnormality in the entire battle, them removing players who should have their own chance. Mutsuki twisting her words to break from battle when she kicks his ass, and using her remote to unleash his cards as distractions, warning her that Chalice might get to them first if she doesn't. Umi continues to manipulate Kanzaki, more and more trying to tear down his resolve, which all flounders in how she doesn't believe in anything and has no concrete argument of her own. I swear, he is Shiro Amiya in so many ways. Her side, of course, not helped by how she keeps being a manipulative bitch, and yet he keeps helping her. Shown with how Trial E tries to use her as a hostage, Id warning him that she'll be fine as long as he doesn't transform, with Umi then surprised at how he acquiesces. Okay, Kanzaki's bleeding, and yet he's still moving. God damn that pain tolerance of his. This finally gets through to the brat, her distracting Trial E long enough for Kanzaki to transform, but his injuries make him resort to King form to be able to match it. I'd say Umi learned her lesson, but the wrap-up for this completely contradicts that assertion, where they're continuing to be just a bitch to Kanzaki. Shuri sees reports of 5 undead appearing at once, Kanzaki racing off to face them, only to run across Hajime, who warns him King Form's use has made it so Change Mantis is no longer effective in suppressing the power of his Joker. Joker fights the unsealed undead, it reclaiming in an instant all of the lost heart cards, but as its death personified, it can't distinguish enemy from innocent, almost attacking Amane until Kanzaki comes to stop him, and just makes things worse by using King Form to try and suppress him, when it's doing nothing but draw out Joker's power even more in the face of such a strong enemy.
Spade 2, Spade 3, Spade 4, Spade 5, Spade 6, Spread Flash.
Despite the danger Hajime is becoming to everyone and anyone, when faced with the chance to seal him, Kanzaki hesitates, and in doing so, Hikaru intervenes, telling him his use of king form is what's driving him insane. The rider systems, being based on Joker, are too Joker-like for his instincts to stand, an outcome that Yoshito was trying to prevent. Revealing to Tachibana his latest trial monster uses data from a category King, taken from the Heart King card he holds, kept from the board when he unsealed the undead, confirming for Tachibana that all of this is his fault. Karasuma messages the team about King form. What Kanzaki's done was not something planned by him either. The Rouse Absorber was only intended to fuse Blade with Caucasus in the same way he fused with his Jack card, not link all of the Spade undead at the same time. It's likely due to his high fusion rate, though, that the system confused the input data and brought them all in along with it, into the current problem. How do you stop this aberrant fusion? However, this makes Kanzaki realize that, since King form has made Joker awaken and can't be suppressed by any of his standard cards, could Hajime gaining his King card to have them all together allow him to fuse his power as well as a way to suppress it? It's a long shot, but it's a chance that could easily backfire on them. Thus he asks Musuki for Hajime's cards back, Tachibana learning of this plan from the others, and while he thinks it's stupid, there's this niggling idea it might just work as well. Musuki offers the cards he has in trade for the Rouse Absorber, Kanzaki agreeing without complaint as, well, it has caused this whole problem in the first place, so it's best out of his hands. Which just leaves him to reclaim category King, though he doesn't need to as Tachibana's taken it himself and hands it over, because what he's saying makes sense. Suppressing Joker needs to be a priority, as Hajime is losing the ability to return to being human, and where people are in danger with it running rampant. Thus, Kanzaki trades his belt for the card, removing his threat entirely as Yoshito wanted, but unfortunately Trial F is already after him, and without his gear, he can't defend himself against it. He runs, reaching Hajime to turn over the cards, but Joker can't help but see him as just another undead. However, him being attacked by the Trial F, in tandem with his words, manages to make Hajime come back to himself just long enough to take up Evolution Paradoxa.
Evolution!
Chalice Wild, once again for the designs of this series, is absolutely badass, getting new wild slasher commas that it can link with his arrow in order to combine all of the heart cards into one. And as a bonus, Kanzaki's plan has worked, allowing Hajime to suppress the power of the Joker, which Garen mistakes for it backfiring on them when he comes across them. Though right after, Hajime managed to change back to human form, retaining a serenity and stability within himself and, for the first time, smiling at the beauty around him, which he hadn't realized he'd truly come to cherish. Tachibana takes Kanzaki to see Yoshito, Kanzaki accusing him of causing all of this, which he accepts as true. As said, before when his wife died, he went nuts and tried to unseal the undead, intending to just do it one by one to get data from them, but because others tried to stop him, most were released in one massive catastrophe, the rest aboard assuming him dead, and Karasuma using the remainder of the cards for the rider system. Ever since, he's been trying to correct the mistake he's made from the shadows, and realized the flaws Karasuma had ignored. The better one rates in using the rider system, what is an effective artificial Joker, the higher the danger there is in making the user become a real Joker undead, thus subject to the penalty of the battle fights if the system reads the last standing undead being a Joker if all others end up sealed. Kazuma Kanzaki, if he's not careful, could accidentally cause the very Armageddon his battles in sealing the undead are trying to prevent. That is ridiculously heavy, and plays off of everything seated within the story up until now concerning Kanzaki's synchronicity with the system. Kudos! No, seriously, this is a natural series of plot points all culminating to a natural conclusion from how they've been given, and a legitimization of the conflict with them sending the trials after him. Still, with all of his gear taken, it's not like Kanzaki is a danger to anyone anymore. The only way it would become a problem again is if they gave it all back to him. They take samples to see how far along he might be in his transformation. However, Yoshito has an additional ulterior motive Tachibana is oblivious to that is the real reason behind what he's done. Contacting Mutsuki and telling him to kill Kanzaki. Telling him he's already another Joker, and doing so can make him strong enough to face anyone and thing. Hajime returns home, finding Amane, who was blinded earlier in an unrelated incident, and getting her help, only to learn from Shirai the danger Kanzaki's found him in, and wanting to return the favor in saving him from himself, while Mutsuki tries to make Blade change into king form as part of Yoshito's research. The real reason why he wanted Kanzaki caught is so he could use his evolution into an undead to achieve his true goal, surpass mortality itself as an immortal being. And Hajime has to be the one to tell Tachibana the bad news, that he has once more been used as someone's pawn, and it is too late to do anything about it. Sadly, Kanzaki at this point loses control, Caucasus beginning to influence him, as it becomes a three-way brawl, Tachibana for the first time seeing the true face of the man he trusted. However, this isn't Yoshito either. The Yoshito we've seen is nothing but a defective clone of the original man. Chalice and Blade King face each other, the serenity Hajime's gained thanks to Evolution Paradoxa, allowing him the ability to suppress the rapid king form, and help bring Kanzaki back to himself, making them even again.
俺の中のジョーカーに勝てればキングフォームは最強の力になる。俺は仮面ライダーです。これが運命なら負けたくありません。
Yoshito goes to a secret installation bearing the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Considering the themes of evolution in Ishimori's works, that makes too much sense. However, he finds something wrong with his body, as he's met with Board's head, Hirose Tennoji, who reveals that he is Trial B, just another defective undead clone made of the original Yoshito, who actually did die unsealing the undead. But even that was a manipulation by Tennoji in order for his own plans. Yes, the villain of the series is Ultra 7 Dan Moroboshi. I am not kidding. That's Koji Mochitsugu's most infamous role. I guess we could count this as irony that an Ultraman is evil in the Toeiverse? Well, at least Belial will be in good company. Well, with all the heavy crap that's gone down as of late, it's time for a day off. Hajime and his new, more emotive self taking Amane for a day at an amusement park, which is ruined by Mutsuki showing up.
最低でこ最高
I like her. In a weird way, over the last several episodes, Hikaru has ended up sticking to Mutsuki like glue, seeming as if she's taken up the mentorship role of Liango, and it seemed to have worked, the influence of the spider undead seeming to decline. However, Kanzaki is attacked by another trial that attempts to force him to use king form to continue his evolution. Though this ends up being the time for a family reunion, as Shiori finds Yoshito standing before her.
お父さんどこで何してたのよ
私にはすべきことがあったんだ。
Now I hope you've been taking care of your younger brother, young lady. Junichi Haruta, Yoshito's actor, we've discussed previously was Soji's father in Kyoryuger, along with being a Super Sentai alumni himself. However, it's revealed that he is in fact the trial that attacked Kanzaki earlier, abducting Mutsuki, who was with Shiori at the time, all for creating a new, superior trial from the data on the unstable Rider system and its user. After getting what they need, he's used as bait to lure out the others to additional data, Yoshito eventually revealing himself as the trial, and it's said to be the proof of his resolve to reach beyond mortality. But Kanzaki calls that bullshit, as he's abandoned everything that would make life worth living. However, Shiori snuck into Yoshito's office and discovered from all his data that this is not her father, just a defective fake making use of his body, and asks they destroy it. Before they can, however, he frees Mutsuki, who goes berserk on them, which permits him to escape. Still, it got what it wanted, Trial G being completed, and it fighting Hikawa, who's been spying on them. Finding it fights just like Mutsuki, and she's terrified of it.
どんな戦いにもルールがあるこのバトルロワイヤルに 人間もあんなやつもいらない。私たちの戦いなんだから。
And hey, if that battle wouldn't result in humanity's devastation, we probably wouldn't want to be involved either. Maybe someone should have considered doing all of this undead research on, say, Mars. Granted, then you'd have the issue of the Pandora's box, but that probably wouldn't have been an issue for that long. Shuri helps the group draw out Yoshito, who shows he still has a lot of human memories in him, making it appear as if he's pained to have to fight, but Trial G intercedes, making it a losing battle as they both realize it's based on the angle.
どう？自分をコピーされた気分は。
However, these memories lead to them gaining an advantage over Trial G, as Trial B retains enough of Yoshito that when G tries to attack her, it switches sides to save her.
私は間違いを犯した。その上であえてお前を作った。私はもう長くない。私の代わりに娘を頼む。
The memories it had were of a father on his deathbed, hoping to make amends for his failure, only for that existence to be repurposed by Tennoji for his own schemes. But this allows them all to just curb stomp Trial G, all four Rouse riders uniting under one banner for the first time to crush G in its entirety. Giving Shuri closure on the state of her missing father. Episode 41 opens on a flashback to the original battle fight, with the entire mess being nothing but one massive chaotic brawl. The monolith from before shown to be what was responsible for sealing the defeated undead, as a conduit to the power of their god. This all being a memory of Hikawa's. In the now, though, Tennoji's team are analyzing the power of the monolith, 2 more undead cards in his hands being exposed to its power. The team realized that with the only remaining rogue cards being absent from Tachibana and Mutsuki's sets, that there's only 4 rogue undead to deal with, plus Hajime. While Kanzaki's starting to get an idea of how to deal with Hajime, they realize that with everything that's happened with Mutsuki, it's possible that Spider isn't technically being counted as sealed. That's why he's been ecstatic at his status as co-Liangle. This is proven too as Mutsuki attempts to deal with one of the remaining undead, as it doesn't matter who's in his way, including Nozomi. Shirai as well is at the point he's been given the okay to start publishing material on the Riders, only to find his attempts thwarted. When asked if the reason why is that it's all attached to Tennoji, he finds the entire office fearful, as the man's so influential he's made people disappear. Tachibana goes Jack and tries to end Mutsuki's rampage, but fails as he finds his strikes ineffective. Hikaru, however, back to original goal of facing strong undead to win the battle fight, comes face to face with Diamond Category King, Kanai the Girafa undead, only for him to not want to fight her, not even bothering with sealing her, because it's not his role to decide that.
このバトルファイトは偽物だ。お前はすでに何体ものアンデッドと戦ってるはず。だが、かつてのような封印の石は現れたか？
This doesn't make much sense, since Isaka for his rider system was sealing other undead for the club structure deck for Liangle, unless Tachibana sealed all of those as well, or possibly they were still sealed undead Karasume had, but either way, that's not clarified and might be contradictory. No, the only ones sealing them are Joker and the Riders. This isn't an official battle. This is a man-made war all for another's machinations. The rules and glory she wanted aren't there. The undead were never going to be able to achieve their goal, as Tennoji has suppressed the power of the monolith. Mutsuki helps her away, still determined on being the one to seal her, but without the battle fight, she's a bit listless. Actually appreciating the connection Mutsuki's offered, but also scared by it. To try and move back to what she knows, she invades Tennoji's base to find the monolith, only to run straight into Artificial Undead Titan, the Scorpion Chameleon undead fused with the power of the monolith. No. You need a polymerization to create fusion monsters. Or at least use the actual Category Jack fusion cards to do that. Tennoji stops it, however, and has no need to fight other undead. It's a weapon made to stop the riders. It will poison them, turn them into undead, and make them fight themselves. Hikaru questions why, if he made the riders, would he make an anti-rider weapon, but Tennoji just shows her the monolith. She questions again why it never appeared to her, but it's revealed Tennoji's true goal was to gain its power. His son insists, after all, on stealing the undead by accident. The riders made simply to clean up the mess and dismiss them from everything. And then this monster to clean them up before being reseat. Actually, wait. Why? That makes no sense. The riders upon stealing all the undead would have just retired. Sure, we've got the problem with Mutsuki, but faced with no other option, Kanzaki would have locked up Hajime. We see that in Missing Ace. He's been commissioning the trials to stop the riders and Kanzaki going Joker, but the measure with Category King only happened because of the trials forcing Kanzaki to use Caucasus' power as he did. Once he learned about the danger of using King, he avoids using its power and would have stopped it altogether if all the undead were resealed. Now, he has to use King. Joker has all the Heartsuit cards, so he's a big threat as well, and you've had to abuse your own tech and potentially break the system entirely with your undead fusion. You are literally shooting your own motivations in the foot, as if you just wanted the undead locked back up. You could have waited until they were done fighting to figure out the power of the monolith for your own ends. I mean, it's clear this guy was the big bad from how he's used people, but at the least manipulate them in a logical, understandable manner, dude. Altering Trial B's memory? Okay, chief undead researcher still giving you stuff, but look at all that's resulted from him being stupid about this. They're actually now in legitimate danger of the battle fight defaulting to Joker winning and causing an extinction level event, which would not have happened otherwise, and he's just been making it worse due to his creations. Hell, had he not messed with Trial B's memory, it's likely he still would have had a servant that would have worked on his projects instead of one that has outed you entirely. He's a dumb villain. He is a dumb villain whose plans are clearly collapsing as he didn't think through the consequences of not avoiding conflict with those who don't even care at all about what he's doing. Go ahead and research the monolith. Go ahead and become God. How would anyone else have known you were doing that if you didn't intentionally draw attention to yourself when this was almost over? He tries to make her a pawn of his with the revelation that everything she's done is pointless, but her pride and her detestment of the man makes her reject him, with her additionally repulsed with another card in his possession. Mutsuki ends up poisoned by Titan, taken in by the others as Hajime comes across Kanai, who wants to talk it out with Joker, and Nozomi, and trying to reconnect with Mutsuki, comes across Hikaru in the midst of having an identity crisis, and finds the girl doesn't fear her, nor does she fear Mutsuki, but wants to help him get through this, as she misses the old Mutsuki that cared for her. Waifu material for him right here if she's willing to last through all of this. Hikaru, however, realizes from interactions with Mutsuki that that was the person that he continues to value. It's ingrained into him no matter how much Spider has tried to consume him. However, when they try to have Nozomi get through to him, the poison has taken thorough control of him, and he literally transforms into the Spider Undead's new body and tries to attack them. The power of true love doesn't work. Thank God for avoiding that cliché. Instead being Hikaru that confronts him and tells him of the undead's poison and how it's overtaking him, deciding that she's become friends with him enough that she'll stop him with her own hands, to find a point to her own existence.
偽りのファイトに踊らされていた。私にも戦う理由などなかった。貴様と同じただの獣だ。
Though she seems to have the upper hand, Mutsuki gets in a lucky shot, her collapsing in his arms, and willingly sealing herself, leaving behind a Rouse Absorber? Where the hell did she get that? Is this an RPG now where rare enemies drop super powerful equipment? Oh wait, Tachibana gave it to her. It's explained later he did this when she asked, which also shows character development for him. And it's all in order to trick him into using her and Noboru's cards. With him fusing with them, and in that unstable state, they would be able to counter the power of the spider and infuse them from him, allowing them to heal the damage done.
君をカテゴリーエースの呪縛から解放する。
光と闇に操られるな。自分の中に両方を抱えて戦い抜け。 自分との戦いに終わりはない。
Thus, still augmented by Noboru's power, he brawls with Spider. And I am again directly reminded of Dino Thunder and how it also dealt with the Master of the Right Ranger clone. But Mutsuki defeats it with style, and with Spider crushed truly this time, the club ace is properly sealed. Langel's power is now his own. He has truly earned the title at this point of Kamen Rider, and the chance to be a hero as he always wanted. His nightmare is now over. So, hey, party time to celebrate Mutsuki's freedom. Though Mutsuki wonders if he's really deserving of the title after everything he's done. Though, hey, he still has a chance to prove it, as there are still 3 undead plus Hajime left to seal. Speaking of, Titan is still out there stalking them. But with Tennoji...
もうすぐだ。すべてのライダーが倒れ、アンデッドが滅んだ時、神の声が私に届く。
Unfortunately, the Overlord of Darkness was occupied 3 years earlier with a guy named Shoichi Sugami, and you missed your chance, dude. Try back in a decade when a street dancer becomes a space war god. He thinks.
こんな茶番をいつまで続ける？天の地。
However, the Titan Undead, through the power of Chameleon, sows discord among the riders by taking Kenzaki's form, all of them thinking he was affected by Titan's venom into becoming their enemy, which is more dangerous than Mutsuki's due to his potential to become a Joker. It also takes the form of Tachibana, making it seem as if Hajime and Mutsuki are the only ones free, still resulting in the battle royale between them Tennoji wanted, because none of them are aware enough to realize the normal ones among their number are entirely reasonable, but the ones immune to the effect are going out of their way to attack them.
仮面ライダーの最後だ。
Unsurprisingly, this was written by Toshiki Inoue. Yes, I know this may come as a shock to some of you, but it's true.
もうよそう。俺には今、お前を傷つける理由はない。これは何かの誤解だ。
Huh. I take back that not smart enough comment from a moment ago. This is a bit of a paradigm shift for Inoue as well, as it actually has all of these people talking out this problem and confusion among them to assuage the doubts Titan has sown among them, after they'd spent an episode setting it up. Everyone is otherwise in character with how they relate to each other, and it's not done just to draw out a stupid storyline. The conflict has a point in it that is part of the villain's goals. Hajime's the first to figure out that Titan has the mimic ability, however he loses track of Kenzaki during the stay with a partner time, which quickly tips off the others to the faker in their midst despite its attempts to sow more discord. This revelation working to reinforce the trust it sought to break, by reaffirming details about each other among them they could not possibly replicate.
私がアンデッドだっていうの？
いや、でも可能性はあるわけだ。
私は私よ。
本物だ。
当たり前よ。
The sad thing about this scene is the Tachibana part of it, where he's pouring out all of his self-loathing and regrets, is often taken out of context with them immediately cutting to Kenzaki's happy response to make it seem as if Kenzaki's a dick as opposed to it being a reassurance of their camaraderie. However, infecting Hajime with Titan's poison has resulted in Joker's power being unleashed, the 3 remainder trying to take him down once again, with Titan and Kanai watching, and once again Kenzaki can't make the finishing blow. Yep, it was a trick all along. They texted each other the true plan to keep the Titan that was watching them from figuring it out. Titan's primary target all along was Joker, to prevent the lost condition from the conflict from coming to pass. For Titan itself would lock it into a subservient stalemate by how it's the fusion of 2 undead. This is again them all being smart in dealing with this, as is Chalice figuring out Titan's continuing attempts at deception, which is far and above how I usually expect Inoue to deal with these kinds of plots. And it actually has purpose and direction, the team together ending Titan by lending their cards to King form.
Spade hot and club 6 spade king.
With it, both buckles open, allowing the diamond and club cards of the fused undead to be taken, leaving just 2 undead left. Actually, that's a lie, for Tennoji has succeeded in creating his own undead, Kerberos, Tennoji thinking it's another step to his own godhood.
どうだ神よ、お前の作ったものではないアンテッドは、お前はその存在を認めるのか?
Huh. Well, didn't see that coming. Though in a number of ways it does explain the events of Missing Ace with regards to where the changed Kerberos card even came from.